Well, as you can hear, it's that time of year again. Well, almost. Tomorrow will be, but falls. Leaves are falling. Crows are crowing. I guess I don't know. But yeah, it's around Halloween time, and of course, we all know that when it comes to Halloween, horrifying stuff always happens, to say the least. Pokemon is no exception to this, actually, because believe it or not, they have many horrifying things as well. To the fact that they have ghost type Pokemon, which is obviously my favorite type of Pokemon, to the fact that they keep adding many mysteries of ghost children in them. To that of Sun and Moon with the haunted school, to Black and White with the mystery between the girl and Darkrai. It's just full of them. However, for me, my first encounter with actually the ghost mysteries was one that actually is one of the things that really haunts me to this day. Well, not anymore, but it still fascinated me back when I was really young, being the ghost elevator girl. However, many people have already theorized of what's going on. However, today, I want to actually tackle one major subject. Is there actually an origin to this mysterious ghost girl? Answer is actually pretty much yes. Now, before I continue, I want to point out that this is just a theory of my own, and I don't know if this is actually exactly accurate. But with the evidence I found through and through, it's pretty much sounds like a pretty cohesive theory. So let's begin. Before we do start, however, we need to address what is the Ghost Elevator Girl. Well, it's pretty much a very bizarre event that really has been many people been questioning a lot. The story of the Elevator Girl start off literally the guaranteeing explanation. Now, before I continue, I want to point out that I don't know if this is accurate on how she is because you will run into her, guarantee. However, I don't know if she's able to be summoned from during gameplay or actually after you get the champion. But either way, it all starts in Lumio City. You go to a specific building with a second floor on the north side of the city, and then you come across this. And note, this is not from my own gameplay, because apparently I lost my Pokemon Y game. We all know that story. If you don't know, it's a long story short, but really. So I'll be using this footage here. Plus, also, even if I did, it'll be difficult to actually get to reactivate it, as it's very much best I show you rather than not. So here we are. So as you just saw, that was obviously the event in question. Now, before we can... So, a little bit more of an in-depth explanation on what you just saw. Apparently, as stated, you go to this building. Again, you can correct me what building it was because I forgot. But apparently, you go to this building, and if you go to the second floor, there will be this hex manic that will come behind you. Which, real quick, for those who do not know or understand, Hexmanics are a group of trainers that were introduced in Generation 3, but later on was brought back by Generation... Gosh. Yeah, 6. And pretty much, they're definitely what it sounds like. They're pretty much the ones that use mostly Ghost-type Pokemon. They have used other ones, other types of Pokemon, but they're mainly specialized in ghost types, which obviously makes sense for also the craziness of the ghost thing, of course. Of course, the model is broken and it will just float on ground, signifying it is a ghost. And as seen, she says, "No, you're not the one," and then disappeared into thin air. Now, before I continue, I do know that when I say that, I know a lot of people will say that she will reappear again by another elevator in a hotel in the same city, of course. But I disagree that's the same one. Mostly because, well, yes, it is kind of crazy. Hex Manix, as you can see for their art design, has always been signified as crazy, so, let's be real. They're pretty. It's not too much a surprise if they were, literally listening to an elevator. But either way, it is still fascinating at the fact that it still begs question. Why on earth would Nintendo put this in? That's a whole nother story, and I'm not getting into that. But the real question is, what does this even mean, and what's the origin of this Hexman jump scare? Because here's the thing: a lot of people has been to this day still debated what the Hexman thing could be about. Well, I actually came across one major theory, and let me just say this is again my own theory, and I came across this as well by myself. But again, it's just my theory, and this is connected to another mystery that's actually in the same city, but I'm bringing this out just in case. Okay, before I continue, I found out the name of the building. It's called Fighting Dojo Building, just to let you guys know. That's obviously seen here. But as you also see underneath it is the second mystery. Now, unfortunately, I can't actually show this because I wish I could, even on my own game. But once again, I don't have the game, and even then, I'm not going to really just dig in to other people's videos and blah blah blah, all that. You know, just trying to make sure I keep peace with that. But anyways, behind a second timetable, TMV, whatever that is, in Lilium Station, like that billboard that tells you about time and what trains go by, it says, of course, "I'm going to get some help. Wait in the usual place." This has been questioned on what that means to many people. Like, who the heck is waiting for one place and what's going on? Well, also, as you can see, also on the Hexmanic, and something that is worth noting, in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, the Hexmanic in the graveyard say the exact same words. And honestly, it still says that relationship between the two events is unknown. And, it's even unknown if that's the same Hexmanic, but, probably is because, timelines and all that gobbledygook. But still, it does questions why it's in there. Well, I actually came across something a little while back. In fact, I'm actually happy that I'm able to talk about this because, this is actually pretty interesting. But I found this, and before tackle this, I do need to note that, again, this is a theory, and this is probably obviously not what the Pokemon people wanted. But it's definitely an interesting theory that I want to tackle, so here it is.
The Crying Girl. On November 18th, 1987, a fire broke out in the King's Cross railway station. The fire killed 31 passengers and trapped hundreds more underground. One of the victims, known as the Crying Girl, is sometimes seen as a young woman with long brown hair, dressed in jeans and a t-shirt. In 1988, one man reported literally walking through her when he tried to see if she was okay. Passengers have tried to comfort the crying girl just to witness her suddenly vanish. Other claims include sobbing noises throughout the station, to children suddenly bursting in tears when entering the building.
Okay, one more thing, real quick. That was from Blame on George's Creepy Urban Legends. I'll link down the description below from, British and all that. That's actually a pretty good video to watch, by the way. That's pretty good. But my point is showing that is I believe that the Ghost Girl from Pokemon is based off the Hexmanic. Now, I mean, not the Crying Girl, you know. And I know it sounds a little outstretched, but believe it or not, it's not full-fledged far-fetched. And there's actually is a reason for this. You see, in actuality, Kalos region, while it is definitely based off France, I mean, let's get that out of the way. It is based off France. It also serves as well as the United Kingdom before they introduced Galar region, of course. But the reason why I point that out is some stuff is based off United Kingdom, and again, that was mostly England, and it is considered that France is part of Europe, so But still, my point is there are some stuff from the United Kingdom that was passed into X and Y, specifically Kalos. Not fully, but you got to say. Second of all is the description. Well, it obviously doesn't really match, and let's be real, they always get far fetched with that. It does have some connections to it, with the girl being long haired, and and of course, scaring the crap out of us. That's pretty much it. And being somewhat invisible, floating off the ground, and even disappearing in front of our eyes. So, in short, sorry about that. In short, the the ghost girl from the elevator may be truly based off, of course, the crying girl. And also, I may actually, and because if we use that description, it will now be able to figure out what's going on. So the story probably is that this is again a theory story that I created. That one time something has happened to the train station in Kalos. Probably, for example, let's use the origin story of the crying girl and say that there was a massive fire or something has happened that caused the Hexmanic to die. Apparently, she was waiting for someone, and someone posted a note on that, timetable thingamajig that says, "Wait here, I'll get some help." But help never came, and long story short, she died, and since then, she's been looking for the person who is supposed to help her. Hence why, she's been looking for someone. But again, I actually do not know if this is even true. Again, it's hard to say because game developers will keep their mouth shut over, everything. They won't reveal any secrets, which makes sense. But I do believe this is actually the origin story of the Ghost Girl. Now, if it is the actual thing, I don't know. Now, there is one more thing, as you probably already saw through the screens. But apparently there's also a ghost girl in, of course, Pokken Tournament, which is on a door. Rather, if she's connected to the same girl, it's unknown since that is a spinoff. Even though that game did came out on the same time as Pokemon X and Y, Generation 6. But either way, it has been, it's still been a debated thing across people. There's even one that I recently didn't see, but I saw the tag that states that the ghost girl is Lily for some freaking reason. I don't know. But still, this is actually my theory on what the ghost girl is. But whatever it is, it's definitely very, very strange to say the least. And they are continuing the ghost thing even in Galar region. But for now, we'll just have to wait and see whenever that is still the case. But for now, the mystery is still being cleared.